Hi everyone, happy Valentine's Day. It's Rahim, Calm Finance, No Hype. Today's episode, as you must have guessed, is episode 4 of our Stickman edition. Today is special because we're discussing Valentine's Day. So the topic should be as appropriate as you might have thought. The topic for today is Valentine's Day and the hidden risk of earning more. Now, before you leave, give me 10 seconds to explain what do I mean. This means it's not about spending more. It's about the emotions that compounds with it. If you're interested now and you still stayed, let's begin to see what's going on. If you know, our show has 4 quadrants. We discuss the particular problem that we have or a particular situation into 4 quadrants and we talk about it. First quadrant, without any ado, is identity. High income, stable relationship, upward mobility. This means if you're a high income earner, in our role, specifically earning from 80k to 150k or above, you're in this category. This means for you, this looks normal, correct? Nothing extraordinary, nothing special. It's just way of living, right? If that is what you think, high income earners is exactly where the risk starts to happen subtly without you even knowing it. Let's discuss the second quadrant. Second quadrant is decisions, premium dinners, luxury gifts, expensive or experience upgrade. As you know, it's Valentine's Day. Everybody wants to celebrate. You want to show your loved one how you much care about them. Love is in the air, as they say, especially if it's North America. Consumption culture, right? You know what you're saying. High earners, you already know about it. So all of this is again normal, right? You want to give your loved one the premium experience for a special day. So you go to premium dinners, you give them luxury gifts, you want to increase their lifestyle, you want to make them feel special for that particular day, correct? You know high net worth earners, you know what it is, you know how it is, correct? Completely normal again, nothing looks out of ordinary with this particular case. But if you know our show, everything looks normal, that is when you have to be more careful, especially if you're high income earner. Now you're thinking, why? Everything looks normal. Why should we worry about, right? Let's see what you mean and answer this question of why should we worry about when everything looks stable and normal for you and you have high income. That brings to a third quadrant, which is pressure. Expectations are increasing. You're signaling value rather than intention. And then lifestyle baseline is shifting. Let's explain what this means. This means now you're going around increasing your expectation, not from just from your end, but from your partner's end as well, or your love end as well, right? That means what is supposed to be considered special or once in a lifetime, or especially once in a yearly event, is now considered normal. Correct? This means your lifestyle has now shifted and now you added a fixed cost to your lifestyle. This will not only affect your financial income, but also the expectations from your partner as well. Either be your girlfriend, either be your wife, anyone, right? Because now they expect you to always have a higher up what you did last year. So now you not only increase financial pressure, you also increased emotional pressure on themselves and on you as well. So you see how this is happening? And now this will lead straight into our second order risk, which are, let's see what they are for this particular case. Emotional spending, recurring standards, financial drift. This means emotional spending is disguised as love. Second one was recurring standards, which is permanent. That means whatever you used to spend last year is now just the bare minimum you have to keep up for the next year, and you always have to go up. You can't go down now. You see what is happening here? The third one I think is most important: financial drift, small repeated escalations. As you must have known, these are not happening in a vacuum. It are just small steps you're taking every single day or every single year. Every decision you're making, they're very small on paper. Let's give an example. Before you had high income, you're buying a loved one maybe a gift of, let's say, $50 or $100, right? Considering inflation, right? Last year. But now, since you have high income, you can go to $200. Now, on paper, it looks not that big, right? 100, 200, right? Not much of difference. But see what you have done right now. You've gone from 100 to 200. There's $100 difference. But now next year is going to be from 200 to probably 300. But as you know, inflation is going up. It's not going down, especially if you're in North America. So you see what you're doing? You're making small repeated decisions, escalating your financial pressure towards yourself and creating more stress, more problems, and getting into the more risky part that we talk about when you have high income earners. Correct? Let that sit in for a moment. All right. So now you're thinking, what should I do? Should I just stop spending? Or just tell my loved one, I can't spend anymore? It's too much? No. That will be the wrong thing for you to do. So how do you overcome this? We have our action plan, 3 steps we follow every time to make sure we understand what you're going to do for this particular year, especially during this Valentine's Day event. First one is define meaning before money. This means when you're going to spend something, ask this one simple question, high net worth earners. The question is, what does this spending represent? Is it connection or signaling? If you can't answer that question clearly or have doubts about it, it will automatically default to spending or status, always. Second, avoid baseline inflation. This means special events like these, like Valentine's Day, are considered a separate event, isolated event, and not a precedent or a precedent. This means you might spend, what we talked about in an example, $100 to $200, right? A gift. But that should not be a standard. Again, do not set it as a precedent, because what is happening? You have just increased your lifestyle expenses because you have set a standard that I'm going to gift at least minimum $200. Next time or next year, the particular gift will be around $300 because we know inflation, right? Going up. Same gift, $300. Same gift, $400. So now you see how much pressure you're giving to yourself and to your partner as well. That's why. Second point is very important. Avoid baseline inflation. Third action plan. Separate love from leverage. It's very important if you're high income earners. This means have one honest conversation with your loved one about finances. Now, don't be worried about I'm going to say something different. No, it's not about spending limit. That is not the question here. The important thing to have the conversation is you want to have a financial alignment. Now, why do you think that is? You might be thinking, why is that important? Because financial alignment compounds faster than interest. Again, financial alignment compounds faster than interest. That means if you are not financially aligned, you're going to have too much of problems both emotionally and financially, because your partner maybe wants to have it here, whether your girlfriend or your wife, but you just want to have it here. So you see, the alignment is not proper. This means you're going to suffer both financially and mentally. Now, before I leave, I have some final thoughts for you, high income earners. Listen to this one. The problem with high income earners is not they will overspend recklessly. Because as you have seen in our quadrant, it is not something reckless. You're not going out buying an expensive car, hopefully, for your loved ones. It's not you're going out gambling your money. It's not you're going out buying expensive jewelry, right? I hope you're not doing this, high income earners. I really hope so. It's about those small steps that leads to escalations every single point in time. That means whatever considered normal is now a standard. Small escalation that leads to having problems in the long term which you don't notice. That is the whole idea of overshow. We want to point out a second order risk that comes when you take decisions which you think is normal or small that eventually leads to financial demise. And the worst part is you will never see it coming. So, my final thoughts, it's not that February 14th is expensive. It's because February 14th sets an expectation on you that you must fulfill that results in having compounding effect over time that causes you financial demise. That's the show for today. I hope you all liked it, you didn't got scared from it, and I hope you stayed at the end to listen all the things that we have to talk about. If you like the show, as always, like the channel, follow for more of the videos, subscribe, and as always, take your decisions, high income earners, very strategically, especially in today's environment, especially if you're in North America, because you already know AI is going to take everything over. So if you're in high income earner right now, make sure you strategically do your things and make sure you don't get into consumption culture, especially designed for today's day, which is February 14th, 2026 for Valentine's Day. Thank you, and I hope you found some value in this. Have a good one. Again, it's Rahim, Calm Finance, no hype.